Why do you like to be alive? Cause there are pies to be eaten. I spent the first half of my adult life living on fast forward. I worked hard to get through college with almost no student debt. I worked 60 plus hours when off from school and full time with a full time schedule. I grew up a have-not with uneducated parents and a single mom that broke her back so I could have opportunity. I put that on my shoulders and powered through. I studied business and finance, and now I own a business. The thing is, despite being proud of that time, I can hardly remember feeling happy. I can remember laughing with friends from college I swore at the time were my brothers, or being in the trance-like state of being young and in love, but not just genuinely feeling happy. I know I was at times, but I can't recall clearly, because of all the work and travel and thrill chasing. When I was 24, my mom, who was the monolith of everything good about my identity, got small cell lung cancer and died within the year. You want to talk about a blur? I cared for her as she did hospice in our home, and I can remember the wild ride of trying to do everything I could to make her smile, then everything I could to make her comfortable, then everything I could to squeeze a life's worth of life lessons into a week, to finally hoping with all my heart that she wasn't in pain as she laid there unable to respond to anything. If you want to talk about a hard stop to a breakneck life, then losing your beacon in the storm is it. At the end, I remember telling her I'd make her proud. That I'd do something with my education and make a name for myself. She said I'll be proud of you either way. Just typing that wrenches my gut now a decade later. One day I was pushing her on a wheelchair to this ice cream shop we had been to countless times in my childhood. It was less than a block away. She had me stop. I was confused. She told me she just wanted to close her eyes and feel the sun and listen to the robins. She told me that whenever the sunshine warmed my face, that she'd be holding my face in her hands. When she finally let go, her funeral was a real shock to the system. Not because she was actually gone, but because of the sheer number of souls at the funeral that I had never met. My mom and dad adopted me in their 30s. I met countless people from before that time that my mom had touched. She helped so many people get through school, leave abusive partners, kick drug habits, raise their kids, and the list goes on. It was a real eye-opener. She never had much money in her whole life. She had a long career in medical billing at the end. She didn't win the rat race per se, but she resonated so beautifully with so many people. That's what being alive is fucking about, my friends. Being present for yourself and for others and resonating beyond today in ways that are important. I think about all of the mistakes I made as a young adult. Being brash and insensitive, being naive and loud with my opinions, crossing the line of consent and autonomy in many ways with a lot of people, saying I didn't have time for the people I could see were struggling, taking advantage of people, and angling all the time to get ahead, which growing up in poverty is sort of a byproduct of survival and hard to shake, and also just not being there. I mean like autopilot life despite all of the rich things in life around me. If you read this far, just know this. I get up every morning and close my eyes and just listen. I take a minute and think about what a privilege it is to be able to take in even the mostly silent stimuli of an empty room. If my cat decides to sleep at my feet, I listen for her little kitty breath or watch her lungs fill up and rise and fall and think about whether she knows how much I love her. I have a cup of coffee and I really taste it. I think about the crazy process it goes through to even be a bean, much less be in a cup warming my soul and opening my eyes. I have a busy schedule, no doubt, and I have a flood of stimuli barrages every day, but I spend so much time listening to the robins. I people watch like crazy. I take the time to match smiles sent my way. I don't let someone I think is in pain pass by unnoticed, and I try to get know people's paths that lead to who they are now when they wrong me, because understanding that much about someone gives you peace, even if it doesn't excuse what they do. I have a rule of taking 10. Take 10 seconds to calm down, take in, consider, feel, etc. 10 seconds to ask a question. 10 seconds to Google something you're curious about. 10 seconds to see just how rich everything is in this crazy beautiful existence. I can't stress enough how much better I feel every day, and I close my eyes in the sunshine for mom every chance I get. It seems better than being dead. Donuts and dogs. BC, I'm fastest sperm. Dying is exactly what my stupid fucking brain wants. Well, my brain can go fuck itself, because I'm gonna keep living, as long as humanely possible. In fact, I'm so committed to fucking my brain over, I'm going to do everything in my power to stay alive. I'm gonna sleep early, eat healthy, go to the gym, and cultivate healthy relationships. Fuck you, brain. Man, all the good in this world. Joking around and laughing with your friends until you can't breathe anymore. A random dog running up to you to sniff your butt. Getting your first kiss. The smells from bakeries when you head out in the morning. Staring at the moon late at night knowing there's someone out there doing the same. Hugging your parents after not seeing them for a while. Cuddling with you so after you did the beep peep scaddedly do. A stranger's baby smiling at you when you're waiting for a bus. The taste of the watermelon on a hot summer day, and laying on the couch under a blanket watching the flames in the fireplace on a cold winter evening. Listening to the music in your bed on a Friday night knowing you don't have to set up an alarm for tomorrow. Texting your crush late at night, both of you being dead as tired, but neither one wanting it to stop. The feeling of accomplishment when you finally learn to tie your shoes yourself. When you finally reach the bathroom after having to pee really bad. Telling a joke and the whole group of people laughs. Reading a book at the seaside while the sun unbeknownst to you slowly burns in a dick a sibling drew on your back with a sunscreen. Finally beating a game you've been playing for weeks. Making a meme yourself and thousands of strangers on Reddit like it too. When you inconsistently water your cactus, but the cactus is just fine with it and it blooms to thank you, and you didn't even know cactuses can bloom. When you're really tired after a workout and your muscles are sore the next day, but hey, you know you did something good for yourself. Starving yourself because you know grandma is going to cook your favorite meal and you have to eat it all. I stopped being afraid of death after experiencing some terrible pain for years from undiagnosed ulcerative colitis. I was only 16, so no one believed me. Wasn't diagnosed until I was 19 and my hemoglobin was 3, 15-18 is normal. I have felt that point where your body is struggling to keep up with basic needs for everything to function. I begged for death in those days. I guess I'm alive now because I found 2 competent doctors, a good surgeon, and my body is just stubborn and doesn't want to give up. Edit. I should clarify that above is a brief description of what led to me not being afraid to die and how I felt at that time. As said, once I found someone who would help, I bounced back in health and felt immensely better. My lack of fear of death has remained unchanged, however. That being said, I do not seek out death or want to die prematurely and never have. Begging for death really did happen, however it was me wanting the pain that brought me to a fetal position out of nowhere and staying there for sometimes hours, and then the suffering out of just everyday life knowing I wasn't myself, wasn't healthy, but couldn't get anyone to actually do a basic workup on me or even look at me and see I was not just pale, but as hen grey, I looked like a corpse. It's like someone telling you that you're insane and none of it is really happening. In that time, I did beg for death at moments because I wanted all the pain and suffering to end. If I couldn't get care to fix whatever was wrong, then I did not see the reason to continue in pain and suffering. Change that full code status to no code kind of mentality. Never did I want to kill myself though. Please, if you feel like dying, wanting to die, wanting to kill yourself, please seek help. There's an old man I sometimes visit who can talk your ear off for hours on end. You'll sit down with him, and he'll start to unload his stories, one after the other, of his old friends, his years in the radio industry, and his misadventures chasing women. Once, halfway through his usual ramble, he stopped, turned to me, and said, "You know what? Life is fun. And it stinks to know that I'm getting close to the end because the whole thing's just been so damned fun. That's always stuck with me. It's my belief that the person who's had the most successful life is the one who, when it's all said and done, has the best stories to tell his grandkids. Cause there are pies to be eaten. There's some shit I still need to do, the list keeps growing, so it's kind of an ongoing thing. Spite. I'm terminally ill, and the closer I've gotten to death the more I've just sat back and watched nature, genuinely stopping to smell the roses. It's the little things in life that make life worth living. The family of birds in a nearby tree communicating with each other. The dog you wake up every morning to and can't wait to see you and be around you. I even oddly Lyle watching the trees rustle on a windy day. Watching my fish swim around their aquarium. Valuing the time and memories I make with my wife and friends. People that say life isn't worth living need to try their very best to smell the roses, watch the sunrise or sunset. I know sometimes life really can get us down in the dumps, but life is truly beautiful. Edit. Just woke up and checked all the notifications. Thank you everyone for the awards and the very nice words. It's very humbling to get so many beautiful responses. I've done my best to read and like as many as possible. One comment I noticed is about how close to death we come. My fate was luckily decided by my oncologist. I was in ICU last year, I was septic and I had a superbug the doctors couldn't get on top of. My kidney had completely stopped, and I only have one kidney. Fortunately, when the ICU had the various teams come together to decide whether to continue or let me go, my oncologist demanded they continue to treat me because I'm young 29 and my heart and lungs are in good shape. I'm still here to this day, so I owe it all to that man who saved my life multiple times. I sat with my wife and cried, told her I was ready to go, and laid patiently with my eyes closed ready to be taken away. It just didn't happen. Since that moment I've done my absolute best to enjoy the little moments in life that we easily brush past and let go unnoticed when we are busy and living a healthy normal life. I'll try to individually reply to comments where I can. Thank you everyone. Dude, happiness in small things is absolutely the secret to true happiness. I bought a really nice water bottle a while back, insulated, easy open lid. I was no joke riding that high for about 6 weeks. It's a freaking great bottle.